Hi, this is Stacy, or Stacky Scraps, and today I'm presenting you with a brand new tutorial on the wonderful, and to me, very exciting world of the Boolean operations within the Make the Cut software. This is brand new functionality with the software as of version 1.3.0. So you want to make sure you're on at least that version. If you're unsure, you can come up here and click on Help, and then click About Make the Cut, and a window will pop up that'll tell you what version you have. I'm going to take you through two basic functionality levels. The first level is just working with two basic shapes, and the second level will be working with more complicated shapes and making a lattice work like you've seen if you've been following along on the Make the Cut forum. Andy's been showing us previews. I will have a written version of this tutorial on my website, stackyscraps.com. However, I will not have it available until Monday, February 1st. So with that in mind, I'm going to take you straight to the first screen, which is going to show us our two basic shapes. We're going to be working with a square and a circle for this example, just very basic to give you the idea of what the Boolean operations are going to do before we take it to the next level with the lattice work. So down here, I'm also going to try to remember to utilize, although this is brand new to me, I'm very excited about having my Shape Magic toolbar down here. So before to select all the items, I had to right click and then do Shape Magic and then click Select All. But now I can just come to this bottom left corner, and if I hover here I can see that Select All. If I didn't know, I click it and both of my shapes are magic selected. So I think that's fabulous and a huge time saver. And if I come down here again, I can also find the Boolean. There it is. Take a look at it. And here's what happens. Basically, there's two shapes that the Boolean operation can recognize, so it only works with two shapes. And it assigns each one a letter. Here it is assigned the circle, an A, and the square, a B. And now there's a whole bunch of different operations that can be done with it. And for whatever operation you have selected, it's going to show you a preview of it over in this screen. So right now, the default is A-B difference. And that's going to say to remove B, which here is to remove the square. So anything that is on the square that overlaps A, which is the circle, so this part of the square right here is going to be removed, and the rest of the circle is going to be left. And that's why you have this sort of 3/4, maybe a little more of a pie look left. If I was to click Accept, I would get just what I have in this preview, just like that. Okay? The next option is going to be just the opposite of that. It's going to be the BA difference. So it's going to say remove part of A, circle, that overlaps B, the square. So this piece right here, and that's why you would end up with this square with the rounded corner. Okay? The next option we have is intersect, which is just like it sounds. It's going to give you the middle piece where they intersect, and that is this sort of quarter pie looking piece. There's also exclude, which is going to give you just the opposite. It's going to give you everything except the intersection. So it's kind of going to give you the first two combined without the intersection piece. Looks like this. And then the very last one is union, which is really like weld as far as I can tell. Okay, so that is the basic overview of two basic shapes. But then the question becomes, what are we going to do if we want to make a lattice work? And before we jump into that, I would just like to say that the huge potential I see in my own projects for this two basic shapes is something I've been hoping for a very long time, which is you can cut out a piece of a shape you're working with if you don't want the whole thing, or cut out a piece of the design if you don't want it. So I was playing with that and very satisfied with it. So now let's move on to the lattice work idea. So the idea behind a lattice work is that we're going to have a whole bunch of repeating little shapes inside a big shape. So I'm just going to mess around with some of the basic shapes here. And I've decided my little repeating shape is going to be diamond. So I'm going to do that first, and I'm okay with this size. And I'm actually going to make it on the whole page to show you something that I think is kind of cool with it. And then I'll go back and tell you a little bit about how to make it a little different if you like it a different way as well. So I'm just going to select this. I'm not going to magic select it. And I'm going to do Edit, Autofill, Duplicate Autofill. And I'm going to put in a ridiculous number, like 300, so I make sure I fill the whole page. And then I'm going to make my spacing negative so there's no space behind it. So I'm going to try negative 0.15. And that's going to give me a full page of overlapped diamonds. Now, this right now is several shapes. So if you remember when we were here, I talked about how to do Boolean. You need to have only two shapes. So the first thing we have to do is actually make this all one shape. So we're going to do that by magic selecting around it. And then we're going to click Weld. And there we have our kind of background for our lattice. Now I am going to do another shape. And I'm very into hearts. I particularly like this heart for some reason. So I'm going to put it there. And of course, I attached it here, which I didn't mean to do, but that's okay. I can select all, and I can split, which I'll find. There it is. And now I have that shape freeform. Okay. I'm going to make this a little smaller because there's something I want to show you with it that I think might be cool. Alright, so now I have two shapes, this background lattice and this heart, and I'm going to show you some of the interesting lattice stuff that you could do with it. So, with that in mind, let me go back to select all, and then I'm going to click on my Boolean again, and we're going to see a whole new set of things. So this is still the same idea. It's excuse me, it's shape A is your heart and shape B is your lattice work. And the first thing is the AB. So in this you see that you get just the lattice work inside that'll give you a nice heart shape. The second, which I think is really cool and could be useful for certain things, is kind of the lattice work background in a square with the heart already cut out. The intersection is going to give you your lattice work all joined in the heart shape. Your exclude is going to give you the joined pieces on the outside and then the separated inside squares on the inside. And then union is going to give you a solid heart on the inside and these nice welded pieces on the outside, which I also think could have great use, particularly if you did another heart inside of this and then decorated inside of there. So I hope that helps as a starting point for you.